Welcome to Immedi Chats.
Well, I would like to let you guys know that I am finally feeling better from this bout of COVID that you guys have bestowed on me. Today was my first day back at work. Um, being out for a week, which felt like a vacation, but not really, if you know what I mean.
Did you work?
I worked from home on Friday, but that was the only day. The rest of the days I was just so tired. It's really congested and wasn't sleeping great. So then I would just nap during the day. Um,
Yep, that's how I felt, and I just worked anyway, very poorly. Oh,
yeah.
This is my first bout of COVID, and, well, as far as I know,
Mm.
and I really didn't feel bad
Well,
other
good
than
for you.
a stupid ding dong dang cough.
Mm.
yeah, but that wasn't anything new. So
Yeah, no.
I still have a
I
cough, a
I
little
live
bit.
with a cough like a smoker.
Yeah. What else has been up? Oh, we had Claire's birthday. That was fun.
that's where the COVID.
Other than
Yeah,
the COVID, it was a great birthday.
it was a super spreader event,
Yeah, it was.
which is really irritating for me because I was so careful, like, during, like, COVID a couple of years ago. We were so, so careful. But, like, if if I was the one that was passing it on to people, I had no idea I had COVID, so
Yeah.
it sucked. I felt really, really bad. But, yeah, you can go on and say how you think my kid was cute. That's where you were going.
I was gonna say Claire was so cute. Oh my God, the child is beautiful.
Once
That's
we
my
get that Instagram up, we'll post a picture.
Oh man, she was like dressed like a little fairy princess. She had her wings on and her little flower crown, and she was just so cute.
She knows it.
Mm-hmm. She smiles real big all the time. She looks like the emoji.
My favorite part of the birthday party was her eating her little smash cake. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
She was going in on that thing.
She was. I don't have anything else to share. That's all I've been up to. Going to your birthday party and having COVID. That's it. That's what's been going on since we last recorded.
I have a few things.
Talk about it.
I finished the first book in the Bridgerton series,
Oh, okay.
and now I'm rewatching Bridgerton
Nice.
because I love it so much.
The only way I rewatch TV shows is if I'm sharing them with someone else. I don't. There's too much new content to consume to be replaying stuff that I've seen already.
I rewatch.
We
Yeah,
know.
yeah, y'all rewatch. Meanwhile, we're both like, "Hey, you should watch this." Anyone? And everyone's like, "Nah, I think I'll rewatch this other thing instead."
Yep.
It's a damn shame. But yeah, we had the party. It was adorable. It was amazing. It was super cute. Claire's the bestest. Um, we had at least a dozen people get sick in and or around the party. Some were probably sick beforehand. All right, so we fixed my audio mid show. That's great. What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, so Aaron and our younger son tested positive for COVID, but mostly didn't feel bad ever. We did not test baby Claire. Oliver tested negative and has only had like a runny nose and a bit of a cough. I tested negative and felt like complete ass all of last week.
Hmm.
Like work was a struggle.
Here's
Hmm.
what I think. Somebody didn't swab his nose properly.
I mean,
Mhm.
that's possible, but I was in there, I tell you what.
Oh
Did you turn
gosh.
it 3 times?
I mean, I swabbed all around in there. I got some
Okay, let's not go into
Keep
details.
it
more
clean. This is clean podcast.
more fluids than you wanna come out of your nose, I'll tell you that.
Says the guy with the glass dildo.
I was gonna say that when you took the words out of my mouth.
And, oh, Oliver and I beat the game we had been playing, River City Ransom,
Cool.
so that was good. And that's about all I've got going on. What?
Oliver had his first soccer game. Well, for this season.
Yeah, how'd that go? I didn't hear about it.
Pretty well. They won pretty handily. I'm not entirely sure what was happening. I need to guess check the rules because we scored a goal, and then the next thing I know, the other team is down taking a penalty kick. And I didn't even see them kick off or anything. And I was like, okay, so they scored on the penalty kick, and then we do a kickoff again, or they kicked off maybe, and we get the ball back and we go score again, and then they're kicking another penalty kick. So it was like a mercy rule type thing, it seemed like.
Hmm.
So we were scoring, and then they were giving them free kicks right after we scored, and I don't know why.
Hmm.
Because that's not a soccer rule to my knowledge. Like, if you do something illegal when you score a goal, you just don't score the goal.
Mhm.
The other team doesn't get to go all the way down and free kick it at your goal.
Right.
Uh, he only played in the first quarter, and then he sat down. His coach sat him down to rest or whatever, and then he never got back in the game and was really upset about it after the game.
Oh,
And
wait, did you say what position he played?
he was like a midfielder.
Okay.
He didn't play goalie this time.
Okay.
And we were trying to get some clear answers out of him, which is hard because he doesn't want to, if he did do something wrong, he doesn't want to talk about it, basically. But I
Mhm.
don't think he did because sometimes he'll tell his coach he's tired and then the coach just won't put him back in. Or maybe his coach will ask him to go back in and he'll be like, no, I'm still tired. And then never clarify, hey, I'm fine to go back in now. And, or maybe he wanted to play goalie and his coach said, well, this other kid's playing goalie and he didn't want to go in unless he was playing goalie. We don't know, but
He
doesn't seem like any of that actually happened. It just seems like he just sat there and his coach kind of forgot to put him back in, I guess.
Mm.
he told me that the lady coach told him that he could play goalie next. So when he got his gloves on to go out, apparently the man coach had already, like, decided someone else was playing
Uh,
goalie, and he was pissed. Like, he was so mad that he didn't go back in, which
mm.
was kind of good that he is
Invested
a
enough to have that
yeah,
feeling.
right. But that's not to say, like, when he did sit down for the first time, he had he had brought his little, bag that had his notebook and his pens in it, and he, like,
Mhm.
took his notebook out to write stuff down, like, we're like, "You cannot do that."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the middle of the soccer game is not the time to take notes and draw pictures.
Mhm.
Oh, I have one other thing that happened to me, which is I backed a Kickstarter for a board game a while back, which is basically the second version of a game that we already have, but with a different theme,
Okay.
which I initially thought I would be more interested in that theme, which I might still be, but I missed the stage where you're supposed to tell them like your shipping address and pay for shipping. And so they've moved on and they're shipping to everyone else. So I submitted a ticket and they said, "Oh well, it's kind of too late.
Oh,
So if you still want it, just wait until we finish all the other shipping and then we'll like send in a notification out and then you can get with us and pay your shipping and get it then. Or you can submit a request for a refund, but it'll be like a 9% processing fee." And I'm thinking I've been reading reviews about the game because it's the exact same game as one we have already.
are you gonna tell us what this game is?
Oh, it's Lords of Hellas,
Oh, okay,
which
okay.
is like that territory control risk kind of
Uh-huh.
game based on Greek mythology. Well,
Uh-huh.
this one's called Lords of Ragnarok, so it's the same but based on like Norse mythology.
Gotcha.
And I've been reading a bunch of reviews, and they're kind of split on whether it's even better at all. And it's definitely fiddlier, it seems like, and the presentation isn't quite as good. So I think instead of paying them another $45 to get the game in who knows when, I'm just gonna submit my request for a refund for and like let them keep my 15, $20 or whatever and then get my 100 and something dollars back and
Mhm.
spend that on something else because we already have that game, which I do like, and we don't play it that much. So like, do I really need two copies of it? No, I don't. So
Yeah.
this will be my first Kickstarter that well, no, my second Kickstarter that I kind of like, I fell for the hype and now I regret it. But the other one, I have it. It's just still sealed up and I'm gonna resell it. whenever I get the opportunity.
which is
That one is called Ether Fields, and it
oh
is like that Tainted Grail game that we played.
okay.
It's like a RPG in a box, big long campaign game,
Yep.
but it's set in some dream worlds, and it does look interesting. But again, we already have one of those that has like 3 or 4 campaigns built into it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need a whole another one with another 3 or 4 campaigns that I won't finish until I'm 60?
Yeah.
No. I would rather resell it for even a slight loss and just move on and reinvest that money into something else.
Like gifts for me.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, for me. Oh, anything else been up?
That's about it for me, I think.
Well, I know something else has been up that you haven't talked about.
What?
You guys are now on a modified schedule with the kids because your mom's gone on vacation.
Oh yeah,
Oh
my
yeah.
mom went on her post her mid second midlife crisis
Yeah.
vacation.
Have you guys
She
talked
spent
to her, by the way, much in the
not
last couple of days?
vocally. She sent a couple messages to Aaron, but that's it.
Okay.
Couple texts and a picture, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. She just checking in. She has learned how to throw on a wheel like ceramics. She made a pot.
Oh,
So she sent a picture of that. I know she'll be doing that a few more times. But
Because her friend that she's visiting does that and has a wheel at home, right?
yes, and a kiln and everything. Well,
Oh,
I'm
she's a
pretty sure she
kiln.
has a kiln.
Dang.
Anyway, her friend just picked it. I don't really know how she picked it up, but she picked it up and she does beautiful work. And I can tell you it costs about $35 to get something here just in shipping because I've done it once.
so anyway, because she's gone and she helps your mom watch the kids, you're now working from home a little bit, watching your kids.
Yes, and much like you guys love so much working from home, that's not me.
Well,
Definitely.
it's significantly different on the days when I'm working from home and also attempting to watch the kids. Because as you'll notice, every single time that happens, I'm just annoyed by the time somebody gets here to take over because I have done effectively no work during the day. So then I have to make it up later.
Right.
So it's just impossible. They're constantly the baby. She's actually better now because she'll just play on her own. Or, but you gotta, I mean, you still have to stop and feed her and get her down for her nap and change her diapers and stuff. And sometimes she just wants to be held. But her
Yeah.
brother should be fully self-sufficient, is 4, just is constantly wants something, constantly is in your hair.
But we love it. We love it.
Not when I'm trying to work, I don't.
Well, he's gonna listen to this whenever he's 25, and then he's gonna end up having to go into therapy.
I was about to say, don't you talk bad about Simon West.
We love you, Simon West.
That's right.
That's true. However, trying to work, bro.
Look, we're gonna miss the days when he wanted to tell us everything.
Yes, you're right.
So,
You're right. Especially when he goes through that period around what 14 where he doesn't want to talk to you at all.
yeah.
He'll be like, "Dang, I remember when that little 4-year-old boy wanted to tell me about Mario."
Yeah, exactly.
It can be stressful. So I thought we might discuss a table topic question
Okay.
here. Just gonna throw this out there and we can all give our opinion and discuss. The table topic card is what's the best way to deal with stress, or what's the best way that you deal with stress? Now, I think there's all different kinds of stress and types of stress, and you feel stress in different places and times in life, but I guess in general, let's talk about when you're stressed, how do you best mitigate that? How you best deal with that?
I will take this first, I
Okay.
guess.
Mhm.
Um,
Good idea.
You're stressing me out.
generally speaking, if it's something that's, like, crazy let's see. Emotional stress is different from, like, financial stress, which
Hmm.
financial stress ends up being emotional sometimes, but, like, if it's any sort of drama in my family, that's kind of a little more difficult for me to handle, but,
So talk about that. Like when you have drama in your family, when you have stressful situations between family members, how do you deal with that? Like how do you deal with that stress? Do you let
um,
it fester? Do you have to confront people? Do you just leave it alone? Like what do you typically do?
it depends on who the person is,
Oh, okay, like
you
your
know?
relationship with the person.
Yeah, like, my I'll say this because my mom knows, I tell her, if it's her and we get in a little well, first of all, we see each other a lot. We're both females, which I shouldn't say that, but that part's true. I just shouldn't blame it on that. But, the relationship between a mother and daughter can be, like, wonderful, and then sometimes it'll be a little, what's the word?
Yeah, just challenging. That's typical
Yeah,
though.
just challenging, yeah.
Mhm.
So, like, if her or I stress each other out, like, we try and or have drama, like, try and talk to each other about it,
Mhm.
kind of right there in the moment. Um,
So don't ignore it, confront it, and
yes. Most everything else and everyone else, though, I normally will cry, and then I'll be over it,
hmm.
and then I will just bitch about it later on.
What about different kinds of stress if it's not like drama? What if it's like,
Well, I'll tell you something that we're going through right now.
okay,
Um, we have had in the past month and a half, we've had to have the air conditioner people out here, like, 4 times.
right.
Um, Basically, whenever it gets hot outside and we turn the AC on, it doesn't work, and then when it gets cold outside, we need the heater to come on, it doesn't work. So, it's always, like, the first night of the, air quotes, "extreme temperature" that we're either really hot or we're either really cold.
Oh, they can't fix it. They keep coming out.
Right, well, this last time we had somebody come out, it was somebody from the same company, but new, and he obviously had a little bit more experience than the guys that's been coming out.
Mhm.
Not to say that they aren't fixing the problems that we had right then and there, because they were. It's just that, the guy told Lyle the reason why we keep having people come out is because our ductwork is too small for the system that we have,
Mhm.
and so we're basically gonna have to change it all out. And
Stressful. Sounds stressful.
yeah, so they sent a quote, and are you ready for this?
Mhm, mhm.
$6,300.
That's it? Just kidding.
So, that's
Wow.
something that normally I would say that I would be really freaking stressed about,
Mhm.
or I would say normally speaking, like, for people in general, like, that would stress a person out
Right.
because it's money you don't expect to spend, but also, right now in my life and right now in a bunch of other people's lives, none of us are really we're all dealing with the same, um, sort of economic
Mhm.
crisis
Mhm.
that we're in with, the cost of living and everything.
Yeah.
So, really, like, I'm just like I didn't even shed a tear over it. I'm just like, basically, I said, "Fuck."
Yeah.
And then, like, there's nothing I can do about it except get a second opinion, make sure that that's really what's going wrong, and then start the process of getting it done. And
Wow.
the
Okay.
the the situation is that, you know, it's gonna cost what it's gonna cost, and I'm gonna pay it when I can pay it. That's how it's gonna be.
So it sounds like you're saying it's a very stressful situation, obviously, and financially stressful and maybe even emotionally stressful, especially when the climate in your house isn't being controlled like you expect. That's stressful on you and the people living in your house. But you didn't really let that get to you too much in this particular case because you got real logical with the solution. And once you thought about it, you're like, why make myself feel bad
Yeah,
about the situation when I literally can do nothing about it?
yeah, and I say this, I've said this before, like, I feel like Lyle might disagree, but I feel like I adapt well to real life situations like that.
Mhm.
It's the emotional stress and family stress and stuff like that that I
Mm.
don't adapt as easily to, but stuff like this, I mean, like,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think
Yeah.
knowing you and how you are, you are a very emotional person at times. Like you're a compassionate person. You care what people think, uh,
Mhm.
and you care what people think about you. Like you want people to know that you're a good person and that you're never trying to hurt somebody's feelings, or you typically try to do the right thing. If somebody thinks otherwise of you, that bothers you,
Yeah, because I think what it boils down to is that I know I'm a good person,
right?
and I kind of pride myself on being a good person, so when people think that I'm not, it's hurtful.
Yeah. So Lyle, with the situation with the unit that she's talking about, did you feel stress related to that? Or how did you deal with that? Or was it just really not a big deal?
So first of all, I want to say I definitely disagree with what she said about that she adapts to things.
Oh, okay.
But also, as far as the economic stresses, yeah, it's like I saw an article the other day that was headlined, Millennials, although making more money, not adding to savings due to short-term expenses like vacations and groceries. It's like, oh, yeah, groceries, an optional expense.
Right.
Yeah, so for me, I will say that I don't deal with stress often in
Okay.
both senses, in the fact that I don't feel it often, and when I do feel it, I don't deal with it like a true manly man should, in the worst way possible. I just ignore it and it eventually goes away. No, but for real, like for this situation and most situations, I do what Aaron did in this case, which is okay, shit, that's a lot of money, but there's nothing I can do to change that. There's nothing I can do to change, like, people who stress, like, what if, like, they won't fly because they're stressed about what if the plane crashes? Like, well, you
Yeah.
can't do anything. So
Yeah.
why are you stressed? Like, "Oh, I'm stressed. What if another car hits me on the highway?" I can't live with that stress all the time because I can't do anything about that. I can do something about my driving and being safe as I can be, but I
Mhm.
can't be stressed about other people maybe doing something because I can't do anything to change it. And that's how most I deal with most situations is like, can I do anything about this? Yes. Okay, I will. No. Well, oh well.
Can I add something?
Sure.
So the thing about the car hitting you on the road, I last year actually had a car hit me on the road, and that kinda helped my stress for that. Now, the first week or 2, 3 weeks, month after, no, it didn't. But now I'm like, "Damn, I got hit pretty hard. I totaled my car, and I was barely hurt."
And you
So
survived it.
yeah, yeah. And, like, I was essentially 9 months pregnant.
Mhm.
So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So, like, now I'm like, I can take a pretty good lick,
Yeah.
and hopefully be okay, but most likely will be okay. Not that I am asking for it.
Yeah.
So, but
So so back to Lyle real quick. So you said you don't typically feel stressed often, but thinking about the times that you do feel stress or a time when you have, is there something that you can do to deal with that, to mitigate the stress? You said you ignore it, but like
Yeah, because like
do you give yourself some busy work? Do you play a video game? Like what do you do to get rid of the stress?
Yeah,
He yells at everyone else.
Oh,
no, probably I do just something to keep my mind busy. Like I've had stress, I guess, my whole life. Like,
yeah. You grew up as a only child of divorce,
correct?
which so did I, and there was a lot of stress in my life. So I assume you had some of that too.
My parents got divorced when I was 3, and then my dad remarried, and my
Mhm.
mom dated, never got remarried. But like, not that those situations were stressful, but like just being around people who are getting divorced or people, and then my dad eventually got divorced again a second time. So, they argue and fight and stuff like that. Not all the time, but I know for sure when I was really young, like single digits to lower teens, probably,
Mm-hmm.
if I was just sitting in my room, not doing anything, and it was quiet, like I would like I wouldn't say it was a panic attack, but it was like I could almost hear like people yelling like in my head.
Mm,
And I would but if I was doing something like I was playing a video game or watching TV or reading,
yeah,
no. So just as long as my mind was busy. So that's why like I'm always doing something, and I guess that's just kind of something that's ingrained in me. Like when we go visit with people, like friends or family or something like that, and they just want to like sit around, I'm like I'm so bored. I want to. That's why I like so much that we started playing all the board games and stuff. Because I don't want to just sit around and watch TV all weekend with even just hang out with my friends and stuff. I would rather play a video game with them or play a board game or talk in stupid accents or whatever.
yeah,
And the kids help with that, I guess, because they're constantly doing something that you have to deal with at all times.
yeah,
Oh, but no, like like for example, when she got in the wreck, that was a stressful situation, and
yeah.
we got over there nervous, worried that her and or the baby would be hurt. She was walking around when we got there, but said she hadn't felt the baby move. So then we're like, kind of panicked, and we ride the ambulance to the hospital, and I'm trying to stay calm so she has someone
Mm,
firm to kind of depend on and not
mm-hmm,
make any stress she might have worse. And so then we get to the hospital, they check her out. The baby had started moving, I think, on the way over there, possibly.
mm-hmm.
And so it was like, okay, things are looking good, things are fine. And I'm like, and I just let it go. Like I don't dwell on it. It doesn't affect me long term in any way.
Yeah.
Uh, Although I will say, whether or not I had COVID last week, I'm pretty sure I did. But that, I guess, stress on my body effed up my sleep patterns.
Have you done anything to get more sleep?
No.
Oh, you would think that if you were lacking some sleep for one reason or another, you would try to get some sleep.
Like, if you are feeling some type of way about your sleep pattern,
Exactly.
Right. But like I said, even the nights that I was like, I'm going to bed early tonight, I would go downstairs, step in some pee from my mom's dog that we're watching, clean that up, clean up any other messes he made, take him outside with the other dog, fold some laundry while I was waiting on them to come back to the door, then get them in, clean them up, put them back to bed, and then, oh, I came down here at 11, but now it's almost 2. And then I'd lay down and just look at the ceiling for 30 minutes to an hour.
Mm-mm.
well, what about you, Toby? How do you deal with stress?
I was gonna say that all sounds real stressful. Um, I would say, I also don't have to deal with a lot of stress in my life. That's by choice and design. I, like I was saying earlier,
Eliminated it.
I grew up with a single mom, me and my brother, and life was stressful. Most of my childhood life was stressful. Just we bounced back and forth between my mom and my dad. They argued all the time. We were in the middle. And like you said, my mom dated, like your mom dated, my mom dated guys, and there was a lot of in and out and different personalities, and it just shit was stressful. And so as a kid, I think the way I would deal with that is just to, I don't know, kind of unplug and just go keep busy doing stuff like you said, go watch TV, go just remove myself from the areas where I felt that stress. Um, as I got older, I didn't really have a whole lot of stress in my life, like I said, by design. But every now and then, one thing or another will cause you stress. Work sometimes will cause me stress. And I think the way that I deal with it is just kind of unplugging. Um, I have an hour commute to and from work. So a lot of times that's a time to de-stress. I'll listen to a podcast or something, or I'll call Aaron and we'll just talk about random shit, which is de-stress. That de-stresses me. Um, Doing mindless things, TV shows, especially stuff that I've seen already. Just put that on and watch it and do nothing. That de-stresses me. So I think that's how I deal with it.
I remember a conversation we had, I don't know how long ago it was, but I specifically remember a conversation we had when you decided that you were gonna start saying no to people,
Oh yeah, good
and
point.
I feel like that relieved a lot of stress from your life.
It did. I very much was a person who would never say no. I would help whoever with whatever they asked me. I would go out of my way to stay busy. I used to do a lot of computer work on the side, helping people with their computers and like if they had an issue or if I don't know, someone wanted me to go help them do something at their house, like my friend Leslie's mom and dad are older and they need help taking stuff out the attic or just little stuff like that. Like I would just be constantly busy somewhere helping somebody with something. I did a lot of volunteer work at church over the years. I would just never say no. And I didn't realize at the time how exhausting and what kind of stress that was inviting into my life. Because I liked it and it was rewarding for what it was at the time. But man, once I realized just say no sometimes, I couldn't stop saying no. I was like, man, I got all this time back for myself.
Right.
And that definitely is learning how to say if you're a person who likes to help a lot and you get a lot of like you feel the rewards of helping people. Sometimes it's easy to go overboard and learning to say no can be hard, but it's so healthy for your own personal welfare to say no sometimes. So yeah,
And
that's a good point.
speaking on what you said, Lyle, that's kind of how I watch everything. Just have it on in the background. I have learned doing cookies and stuff that I can absorb a lot by just listening to it. And, sometimes you have to take a peek at it to see what's going on. Or if there's a really good looking fella in the show you're watching, you got to take a little gander at him to get you through the next 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Okay.
Or
That's
if
it.
like Kate Beckinsale comes into the shot, you need to lift your eyes and take a look.
Yeah. True.
So I like how she said that she listens to these shows in the background while she's doing something else, but
Uh-huh.
she has to take a quick gander over whenever a good-looking man comes on the screen.
Right.
However, she sure doesn't ever take a gander at my stream. So
Oh,
what does that say about me?
it
That
says that you're not
is
playing any games with good-looking guys in them.
Well, I'm on
that
the
is
screen at all times.
fucking false.
I'm on the screen at all times, so there should always be
I
a good-looking
pop
guy in
in
the screen.
randomly at least once on almost every stream. I may not say anything.
I expect you to be the top chatter every month.
No, I'm sorry. I'm the top wife every month. So,
Okay, so this show's non-conspiracy theory is brought to you by Mr. Alfred.
That's me,
Tell us
Lyle.
about it. What are we going to talk about today?
So today's non-conspiracy theory, I came up with it. I was
wait,
have
wait, wait. Did we say last week's? Our
Oh,
last podcast?
good catch. Good catch.
why prisoners wear stripes and or orange. So who looked that up?
Aaron did
We
again.
both did.
We both did, but Aaron beat me to it again.
But you can tell him
Um,
because I don't remember.
I was gonna say, do I remember?
I
Was
vaguely
it?
remember. The stripes were because the horizontal stripes were very visible and distinctive, like when if someone escaped and was trying to run away through the woods or the
It
town or
was the
whatever,
obvious. I think
stood
the
out.
answer was the obvious answer, right? It was for the visual aesthetic of either the color or the design
Yeah, and
for
it's
them to
different
stand out.
from place to place. As like some places have orange, some places have green, some places have orange tops and striped bottoms. It's all
Yeah,
Yeah, and like you said, there wasn't like a single
yeah.
conclusive answer, I
No,
guess.
no. And one interesting thing Aaron found was there are apparently some prisons or some, I guess, thought processes at some facilities where different colors are meant to signal different people, different prisoners within the, like different
Yeah, like
subgroups
different
of
offenses.
prisoners.
Yeah, like juveniles and, like, murderers.
Right, right. So like they'll make different groups wear different colors to pick them out, which I thought was
Yeah,
interesting.
I think they said violent crimes
Mm,
was, like, a specific color, which
yeah,
would be, like, anything from, the R word to murder.
yeah, right, right. Okay, good catch. I forgot that we need to recap that. Okay,
Okay.
wow. Continue.
All right, so I was having a big struggle this week coming up with a topic, and my cousin, who also listens to the show, shout out to Jamie, suggested a few different topics, but I didn't want to take somebody's topic on my first one that I was presenting to the class.
Hmm.
So I came up with one that I thought was really dumb, and then I didn't come up with anything else for another 2 or 3 days. So I came to Aaron and Toby and I said, "What do you think about this?" And they said,
Hmm.
"That's fine." So my non-conspiracy theory is, what does the I stand for in I devices, like the iPhone, iPad, iPod,
Hmm. I would
and
like to go first this time.
okay, have at it then.
Okay. What does the I in iDevices stand for? Incredible, interactive, intuitive,
Oh,
intelligent. All words that could be the I in Apple's iProducts. Actually, the I prefix has nothing to do with any of those words. Back in 1999, when the PowerBook's successor was first being developed, Apple co founder Steve Wozniak, along with Apple's marketing team, were struggling to settle on a name for the new version of their personal laptop computer. Even though the PowerBook series of laptops have been very profitable for Apple, they were looking to rebrand the newer devices. After many months of brainstorming sessions and market research, Apple executives finally agreed on the I prefix for this new laptop device, and they called it the iBook. Why I? What did the millions of dollars in market research reveal that made Apple settle on this single letter? You might think there's a complicated answer here, but actually, it's pretty simple. A personal computing device is something that is personal to you, yourself. It's yours. Or like, hey, that's mine. It belongs to me. It belongs to I. And only I use my personal computer. See, Apple figured out that just by simply putting an I in front of the product name, it would encourage people to all have their own Apple devices, thus driving up sales and ultimately increasing profits. Throughout the years, the egocentric, self centered, individualistic I has been placed in front of many of Apple's most successful devices, with the most successful, of course, being the iPhone. So, there you have it. The I simply stands for the self, the I. That is all of us. The end.
Wow.
interesting.
Okay, that's what I got. That's what I think.
Okay.
Uh, I could go with that. I could vibe with that.
Okay. I mean, you should. It's millions of dollars of market research that
Millions of dollars,
stumbled on that
millions
answer.
of dollars,
So,
millions of dollars, and it worked.
okay.
Okay, well, I'll go next.
Okay.
All right.
Seems like we all took a play out of old Owl's book.
Yeah.
We wrote something down this time.
Uh,
Hmm.
a scripted segment.
Correct. Clearly, the I products had a different name when they were still in development. Much like their predecessors, the PCs, Macintosh wanted their products to feel personal. I can only imagine that they walked around calling these early generations the MyPad, My Phone, My Mac, and MyPod. But the further they got into development, the more they realized that the name for these products was just too generic. There was nothing cute about it, and there was nothing really catchy about it. It didn't indicate a specific brand to them. You know what was cute, though? A little desk lamp called Luxo Jr. The world fell in love with Luxo as they watched him hop across the screen to take his place as the Eye in the Pixar Studios title screen. I swooned the first time I was introduced to old Lux, and my life was officially separated into two time periods, BDL and ADL, before and after Desk Lamp. This was not lost on the Macintosh team. After all, the world loved the desk lamp loved the letter I, and the Steves were just so tired of writing two letters instead of one. They approved the name change, and just like that, the I products were born. The
I
end.
love it. I love it. That's fantastic. What's his name?
Luxo Jr.
Is
That was
that legit?
Yeah, I looked it up.
That is so funny. I learned that today. Did not
yeah,
know that.
unaware he had a name.
Apparently, Luxo Jr. is like from 1986 or something like that.
Really?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like he was animated back then?
Mhm.
he's as
Oh,
old as you.
I
They
only know
they
him from like,
apparently had like a Luxo short, like a Luxo Junior short, and then
oh,
he became like the official mascot.
okay. I was gonna say I really only know that from, is it Toy Story where it kind of first became big popular?
Yeah, probably.
That's
That's
probably
their
the
first
first.
movie.
Yeah, it's probably the first movie I saw that.
I'm pretty sure that's their first like feature film. Pixar. Anyway, there are some obvious answers here as to where the I came from, but those are all wrong. Internet? No way. The first iPods did not have networking capabilities. Integrated? Maybe. But what exactly is integrated? The click wheel? Those don't even exist anymore. And in fact, I would like to poll the audience. How many of you even remember or have ever seen the click wheel? Touch controls. The earlier devices didn't have those either. The music itself, not at all integrated because you for sure had to use an external iTunes account in the beginning to transfer anything to or from your device. So what then? Although it isn't spelled the same, I believe the homophone is the clue. The letter I and the organ I. Why, you ask? Well, most devices in this family have a screen. Some outliers looking at you as the iPod Shuffle didn't. But despite that, I'm here today to tell you that Apple has been developing technology in secret since the launch of this line way back in 2001. They were simply prepping us for its launch. To them, our feeble, normal human existence is weak, small, and slow witted. They did not think we could handle the product that was coming, so instead they planted the seeds and slowly adapted us to their whims. What were they preparing for? What was the big setup led to by iPods, iPads, and iPhones? The Retina display. No further questions.
Wow, just dropping bombs.
The eye. They were just setting up for the retina all along.
Okay, dang.
I
I
have
was.
been conspiracied.
That's some really good. That's some really good theories, y'all.
Mhm.
That's some deep shit.
I like this.
Conspiracy, conspiracy.
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out on
Whoops.
our next podcast what the I
Yeah,
stands for.
maybe we'll actually write down the answer so we remember.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Cool.
Oh,
Lyle,
yeah.
tell me something I don't know.
All right, you ready for this? I doubt
Ready.
it. Your life is about to change permanently. Humans, do you know what our largest sensory organ is?
Largest sensory organ? I want to say skin.
That is correct. It is our skin.
Yeah.
However, humans cannot feel wetness. We
What?
do not have any way to detect wetness.
Bitch, I know when I'm wet.
Correct, because your body senses the cold and the tactile feel of a fluid, and then it puts those together and is like, I'm wet. That's why
I don't take cold showers.
no, but that's why but you feel the water, you know, and you know there's water there. But if you like if you put a latex glove on your hand and stick it in a bowl of water and then take it out, your hand is not wet, but your hand will feel wet because you have
Oh,
that sensation. Also, if you lay out like a piece of clothing that's not quite all the way wet, or you have something hanging to dry and you go grab it and it's cold, you're not sure. You're like, is this still damp or is it just cold? Especially like silk sheets or something like that, or like a light jacket. You often can't tell because we just don't have those organs. Bugs do. Bugs have a way to sense whether something is humid or moist or anything, but we don't.
what bug you been talking to?
I found that out. I was just double checking that this was a legit thing. But yes, we cannot feel wet.
That is some crazy shit. And I want to go get a glove and a bowl of water.
You know what?
Your life is different and you will think about this every time something happens. You're like, wait a second.
You know how Dax Shepard always says we live in a simulation?
Yeah,
Hmm. Conspiracy.
that feels simi to you.
Yeah. There's somebody somewhere behind a computer screen saying, we're going to make them wet, but they're not going to know it. Well, they'll know they're wet, but they won't feel that they're wet.
Right.
That's so weird.
So like in one of the experiments I was reading about, they deadened people's nerves like with a blood pressure cuff type situation. So that their arm was partially asleep,
Hmm.
and then they were pouring or applying various things to their arm, and if it was warmer or a neutral temperature, they were less likely to think that they were wet than if it was cold,
Oh,
whether they were or were not wet.
okay.
Speaking of blood pressure cuffs, there's nothing more painful than a blood pressure cuff that doesn't have its shit together.
That's true. That is true.
I would really rather you freaking give me 20 shots all at the same time in different parts of my body than to take my blood pressure with a blood pressure cuff that's like, I don't think I've squeezed tight enough yet.
Yes, in a hashtag old person happenstance, every now and then we'll be sitting around and somehow like one of Aaron's parents, for example, will be like, "Hey, can I check my blood pressure?" And then we'll all be sitting around the table checking our blood pressure. And every time I do mine, it's always way low and they always look at me disgusted.
Yeah.
And that's the product of a stress-free life.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Well, and every time I do mine, they're all like, "You should see a doctor."
All right, let's list some things.
Okay.
Top 3 presented by Aaron.
Should we round robin this time?
I don't care.
Like 333 222 111.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Sure.
Let's just try it out. Okay. So
Okay.
this time is top 3 places to eat.
Okay.
And we have a bonus towards the end of this. But we'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
So, I'm going to pick who goes first.
Okay.
Lyle.
Okay, I messed up. Disclaimer. I thought it was top 3 restaurants,
Oh,
but that's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
it fits.
I
So
mean, it's
the
fine. Mine are all restaurants.
Okay, so number 3, Twins Burgers and Sweets, which is a local-ish bakery who
Mhm.
does cookies, cakes, hamburgers, all sorts of things. So
Coconut macaroons.
this is so here's my write up for this. My review for Twins Burgers and Sweets. Still the best burger and bread combo for my money. There are others who compete and compare, but nothing hits like Twins for me. A local bakery run by twin brothers who obviously bake their own bread and has a variety of proteins for the inside of the burger. The junior, the twin, the evil twin, spicy, with a fried egg, crab burger, crawfish burger, doppelganger, the turkey burger, chicken, sandwich. These burgers are big, and I once bought a crab burger plus a normal burger for lunch. I planned to eat the crab burger and half of the normal burger, but I fully could not stop myself and ate all of both of them because they were so good.
Oh
So I
my
spent the
gosh.
rest of my workday with the itis and in misery, but it was all worth it.
Ouch.
Plus, they make all sorts of cookies, cakes, and sweets, so the kids love to go there as well. Their only downside is that the fries are just okay, but who cares? Skip the fries and get 2 lemon squares and a fig bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the kids, their place where they get their haircuts is right there.
Mhm.
So we're like, "Hey, if you're good, you can have a snack after."
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Oliver always gets a full freaking meal. He's like, "I want a snack." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go get a snack. I want a hot dog and fries and a drink and a milkshake." And I'm
Oh
like,
my
"What?"
gosh.
He
Jesus.
wait, wait, he did that to your mom one day recently? She picked him up from somewhere, I think, or was bringing him somewhere, I can't remember, but Oliver was in the car with her, and she was like, "Hey, do you wanna stop by Sonic for a snack?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." She said, "Okay, what do you want?" And his snack was a corn dog, tater tots, cheese sticks, and something else, an ocean water or something, and she was like, "Okay, I don't know if this is a snack." Anyway.
Toby, number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3 for me is I picked a little Chinese restaurant that's local to us here in my area called China Gardens. It
Mhm.
is my favorite place to eat Chinese food. It's changed a bit over the years, and actually, the original I think is no longer in business, but it's the same kind of people who's turned it over and over. And it's a buffet, a Chinese buffet, and we love it. We get it for family gatherings. We'll go and pick up like a bunch of buffet boxes and go back to like my grandparents' house and just sprawl them out, and everybody eats, and it's good. We've spent birthdays there, birthday dinners there, and some good Chinese food. So there you go, China Gardens.
Nice. Okay, number 3 for me is sushi masa.
Mm,
It's, seafood and Japanese fusion, and my favorite thing well, first of all, you can order off of a menu, or you can do the all you can eat, and it has all kinds of stuff on it. One of
mm,
the things it has on it is tempura, and all their tempura stuff is so good. So I've listed real quick what they do in tempura. Onion, mushroom, broccoli, sweet potato, which is the best. I get it every time. Eggplant, shrimp, chicken, connie, and then they do dessert tempura, which is cheesecake, banana, and Oreos. And then a close second favorite is the red bean ice cream there.
nice. I
But
like
yes,
that
so
place.
sushi
Mhm.
masa.
Okay.
It's a nice little treat. Well, a nice big treat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, sushi masa is good because it's like, normally you would think and I think when it even opened, we were like, "All you can eat sushi, ooh, it's gonna probably be trash sushi." But it's
Right.
not. It's legitimately good, so
It's true.
Okay, Lau.
oh, I'm up number 2. Number 2. I cheated, but here's why. Literally any Thai restaurant. This may have planted itself as my new favorite food, even surpassing what I have in at number 1. But if it hasn't, it's a darn close race. I say literally any because I've never been to a bad Thai restaurant and they've always been delicious. We used to have one locally that I just accidentally discovered one day had a buffet when my friend and I went for lunchtime, and that was magical. Thai food is always good, it always satisfies, and I can honestly say I like almost all of it. If you blindly point me to a restaurant and pick a completely random item from the menu, I'll probably leave happy.
Mm.
So, Thai restaurant, any, all.
Nice.
Also, probably there's one probably called Thai restaurant because the one that used to be open here was called Thai cuisine.
Uh,
Yeah.
I like some Thai things. It's not my favorite though.
I do like a good yellow curry, but I'm not a fan of all of the coconut milk stuff.
Hmm.
Bro, some pad Thai.
Oh, yeah, pad thai is good.
Yeah, I like a pad Thai.
But yeah, yellow curry is probably my favorite curry.
Or what they would call number 31.
Okay, is it me?
Yes.
Yep.
Number 2. Well, there's some overlap here because my number 2 is sushi masa.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
So we
Whoop,
don't have to
whoop.
talk about that detail again. But I will say one thing you did not mention. My favorite thing to eat at sushi masa is a roll called the masa roll. And what it
Original
is,
name.
original name, what it is, it's got like the kani, the crab meat and avocado, and then they deep fry it and top it with spicy mayo and eel sauce. It's so good. It's my absolute favorite thing to eat every time I go to Sushi
I
Masa.
don't think I ever had that one. I'll have to get it next time.
Get you a masa roll. Comes like four
And it
pretty
comes
good
on
size pieces.
soy paper. I don't know if you said that.
No, it doesn't. You have to get it on soy if you want it on soy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the seaweed wrap, so I typically get all my sushi on soy, but it's really good.
It could be wrapped in anything for me. Fish skin, soy paper, seaweed. Sushi Masha was in my on mints.
Mm. All right. My number 2. Um, this is local to us as well. It is called Pamplona Tapas Bar and Restaurant.
Dang, I
Um,
forgot about Pamplona. Good
ha
call.
I know. Spanish tapas bar. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But
Yeah.
tapas is, small plates. They do everything in small plates except for their entrees, which we hardly ever get. Last time we went, we got their paella.
I,
Yeah, and we decided we'll never get that again.
I'd rather get 3 orders of the lamb sliders.
Yeah. So the things that we never not order when we go is the duck fat fries. And the mac and smoked Gouda is a close second, but we don't always get that because we like to try the new stuff they have on their menu.
And it's heavy. It'll put you down
Yeah.
out like 2 twins burgers.
Yeah. And I will say that it's kind of an adventurous place to eat because there is a lot of what I guess us little Cajuns over here would call, I guess, weird food. Um, like, what is it called?
And who are we to judge truly?
The
Like, we eat
yeah, the
crawfish and
blood
crab, shrimp, but yeah, they have,
like, blood boudin is what it's called?
yeah, blood sausage, escargot, which we don't get often around here,
Mussels, like a just like
right,
a bowl of mussels.
sardines.
Yeah. Um, what is one of the weird things? Um, but they have, like so, like, if you're, sort of a picky eater, they do have plenty of, like the duck fat fries, the mac and smoked Gouda, the patatas bravas. Um, those are all relatively, like, normal-ish food, and then, um, they have flatbreads and, like, just regular bread and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. So my number 2 is Pamplona. It's a little bit
Okay.
on the pricey side, but it is a great, 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 great date night or friend date night or whatever. Not really a place I'd bring the kids just yet.
Mhm.
I think Oliver would have fun there, but Simon, no way.
Oh, he would be in misery.
Mm. He's in misery at home when we make him chicken nuggets and a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1.
Me. All right,
I'm so
number
curious.
1, Tampico's,
Huh.
our hometown restaurant. Growing up, our town had a Chinese buffet, some boiled seafood places, fast food, and Tampico's. Eventually, there were others, but for dinner time, Tampico's was the spot. There was giant murals on the walls to keep the kids fascinated for years. The family staff who stuck around for much of my childhood and knew our parents by name. I learned my first Spanish words there, and most of all, the best damn salsa there is. I have judged every Mexican restaurant salsa against Tampico's for my entire life. My family members have gotten their hands on their modified recipes to recreate it, and I've never ordered takeout from them without getting an extra pint of salsa to take home. It's also served warm, which set my mind in such a way that cold salsa, the way 99% of restaurants do it, feels wrong to me, and I microwave most of the salsa I eat at home. Additionally, they serve their nachos in half or full orders of 6 or 12. These are not the normal, horrible, awful, no good pile of chips with a bunch of crap dumped on it so the chips get all soggy and or the bottom ones have no toppings and or your table mate's fingers are all up in the food you're trying to share nachos. One largish round chip piled high with beans, cheese, your meat of choice, jalapenos, sour cream, and a slice of black olive laid out on a plate, fired in an oven, and crisp and ready for you to pick up one complete nacho and eat it. I'm drooling just thinking about them. Why more places don't do this, I have no idea, but these are amazing and not to be missed. When I moved for college, I also happened to go to the only other place where this restaurant exists and still live close enough to partake in it whenever the mood strikes us. While not quite the same as the one I grew up with, I love the cantina feel and the decor in this one as well. It's more than just another restaurant. Even after going surely hundreds of times, it still feels like an experience. Like the one at
Cool.
home has the big murals that you can be like, there's 4 people in this picture. Go find them, children.
Nice. I've only been there, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, but
Lord,
I did like it.
so many
It was
times
it
I've
was
been.
with you guys. A
Hmm.
couple times
Yeah.
I've been.
When I was a baby, my parents would go to Tampico's and my mom would stop by McDonald's on the way and buy me some McDonald's French fries, and then we'd go there and I would dip them in sour cream, like when I was like 1 or whatever. So that's my introduction to Mexican food.
All right, you guys ready for my number one?
Yup.
I'm ready.
My number one is kind of an exclusive place. As a ma-
Ooh.
as a matter of fact, I'll say it's invite only, and,
It's Paul's.
and it's Paul's house. It's no surprise that I love to eat at my grandpa's house. If I am home, I am most likely going to my grandpa's house for lunch on Sunday. It's a tradition. Not everyone in my family does it, but I do it. And he knows it. And he'll call me during the week and ask me if I'm going to be in town so he knows if he's cooking or not, which is so great. And he is just one of the best cooks I know. His gumbo, whether it's chicken and sausage gumbo, or his seafood gumbo, his roast and cream potatoes is literally the best I've ever had. And he makes the most delicious roast beef po' boys. It is not the typical thin slice roast beef. He does like an actual roast that he slices himself. He makes his own sauce. It's insane. So yeah, my number one is Paul's house, and I am doing my best as I get older and he gets older to learn how to make a lot of the things that he makes because I know one day he will not be making those things and I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah,
But it was easily no. As soon as we said this was the topic, that was I was like, oh, I know my number one.
that's awesome.
Okay, Aaron, what you got? Number one.
Well, I want to say that your pa will call you to see if you're in town.
Yeah.
And I just want everyone to know that if he's not in town, he's either at the casino or at our house.
That's funny.
Anyway, my number one is Zorba's.
Hmm.
It is so good. I can't. It's which I've discovered there's a theme. I apparently like a good like kind of fusion restaurant because it's Greek and American food both separately and together. Like you can get an American burger, you can get a Greek burger, which is like an American burger with feta on it. Um, they have something called feisty feta, which is basically just spicy feta, and it's so good. And the one thing that keeps me going back is the falafel. It's so weird that that's my favorite thing, but I never go without getting an appetizer of it. And one time they did not give it to me, and I was so upset.
For people who don't know, tell them what falafel is.
I think it's just like ground up chickpeas. I don't know, and it's fried. It's like they're like little balls, and I think they serve them like in patties as well for the main entree, but for the appetizers, it's it's the ball. It's balls. You know, and she's all that. She works at that place, and she's like, "Do you want to supersize your balls?" And that's what she's talking about.
Cool.
Falafel.
Falafel.
Yes. And they have, did you mention the nachos?
Oh well, yeah. Okay, so I
They got on my honorable mentions list specifically for the nachos.
Yeah, I was gonna put nachos as another reasons why I keep going back, but I just decided to stick to the combination plate because, like you said, kind of like I kind of wish the nachos would come separately and, like, you could dip in.
Yeah, like, they had all the stuff in a plate, and then they gave you a bag of the pita chips.
Yeah, so that they didn't get soggy. Because hardly ever eat there, we always order out, and, by the time you get here and by the time you get to the bottom of that plate, they're a little soggy. And I will say that I don't think that it comes with enough, like, chips for how much goop it has. But anyway, the gyro meat and is just my favorite thing. Oh my gosh, and then chicken shawarma. So I like the combination plate, um, the best.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Cool.
Definitely a high quality Greek restaurant.
Yeah, okay, so which I think it's a Cajun boy, but I'm not sure. Anyway, um, so the little bonus thing that I wanted to say is, we were all gonna name one restaurant that we kind of miss the most. It doesn't necessarily have to be out of business, but it's out of business in your area and you can't easily get to it anymore. So, whoever wants to go first can go first.
Well, I went first before, so I may as well continue going first, I suppose.
Yep. Okay.
Alright, so mine is Coyote Blues.
Oh, I forgot about Coyote Blues.
This is another Mexican restaurant that we had here, in a city overcrowded with them.
It literally was right across the street from Tampico's.
Correct. I believe that this is the first place that I went to that had the green salsa, which has become more common over the years at other places. Like when they served your chips and salsa, you'd have normal red salsa, and then like a green creamy salsa. But that like comes in the fajita pack from Costco now. So
Mhm.
this is also the first place I ever had a Kobe beef burger, and it was fantastic. I almost died because I didn't want to stop eating it, and Aaron was like, you could take it to go, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's fine. And then finally, my number one menu item, RIP, I will never forget you, is the smoked duck quesadillas. They were served with two sweet sauces, raspberry and blueberry, to dip in, or you could eat them plain or dip them in salsa or sour cream like normal. The quesadillas were good, very good. The sweet sauces pushed them over the top, and I loved them, and I missed them,
Okay.
Interesting.
Coyote Blues. I don't think I've ever eaten there.
and never will.
Don't you say it, Toby.
All right, Aaron and I, we did not plan
Oh,
this, but I feel like you and I need to say ours at the same time because I feel like it's
no,
the same place.
but I didn't put it.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm. I
Oh, you
figured
did something else?
I figured you would.
Clearly, my favorite place that I miss is the Ding Dang Dong Western Sizzlin'.
I wrote that down. She was telling me she was writing hers down, and I was like, "I think I know what it is." She's like, "No way." I said, "I'm gonna message it to myself so I have a timestamp."
Our Western Sizzlin' was one of my favorite places to eat. It probably would have been a number two or a number one for me.
I literally might cry right now.
It's let me tell you guys about this Western Sizzlin'. If they had the most glorious salad bar you've ever eaten in your life. It was just fantastic. Anything you could want, everything was fresh. It was so cheap. Like me and Aaron
Mm,
used to go there when we were going to college together. We would go for lunch, and I think our college would even give coupons to the place, right? From time to time, you could go
I
and
don't
use your
even
coupons.
know.
But oh, it was so good. My
I'm just
favorite thing.
shaking my head in solidarity right now.
It's a shame that it doesn't exist anymore. My favorite thing to eat there was the Philly cheesesteak sandwich. I used to love their Philly cheesesteak. It was so good. When you would go to the Western Sizzlin', there would be this like L-shaped line you would have to walk in. Then you would
Mm,
get your own tray and your own utensils, and you would slide them across those three metal bars. And as you're walking towards the register to place your order, sliding your tray, there's all these desserts that no one ever touched, but they were underneath this uh, glassed area, and they were all covered with cellophane, pudding, jello, pieces of cheesecake, whatever. They were just forbidden fruit, forbidden desserts. You couldn't
Like the
touch them.
Piccadilly.
Like the Piccadilly, you just would not touch them. And then you finally got to the register to tell them what you wanted to order your food. And they would write down your order with what I have Googled and found out is called a grease pencil. It's a
I
black
totally
pencil.
forgot about that shit.
It is a black pencil that sharpens itself by pulling a string.
Oh
And
my god.
Google a grease pencil and you'll see what I'm talking about. They would write your order on these white papers with their grease pencil. And it was a big ass thick uh point on this pencil. And then um you would have to carry more often than not, you would have to carry your own tray to your table. Sometimes there was a waitress there to carry for you, but typically not. And then you just would help yourself to that glorious salad bar with those tiny little cubed ham pieces that I love so much and miss.
And those fake ass bacon bits.
And those fake bacon bits. Oh my God, it was so good. And I want it back. I want it back so bad.
And now it's a bank, and every time we go visit Toby, we
Oh,
drive by that dang bank.
let me tell y'all what happened. Two little
Punks.
heathens burned it down, is what happened. And I hope they rot. I hope they rot in jail for burning that place down.
Yeah,
All right.
they burned the kitchen. Like, I don't even think they burned it down. They could have fixed it. And these people were just like, "You know what? Nah, let's just close up shop and turn it into a bank."
Which is nuts because the place was packed all the time. Everyone would eat there.
We literally would go eat there every time we had, like, a music festival.
Hmm.
The
Oh yeah,
bus
they would like kind of cater us little sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah, they would bus us in over there. Mhm.
What a shame. All right.
Yeah. Alright, you guys,
Oh,
Ralph and Cacoo's,
oh, yeah. I forgot you like that place.
I
Baton
forgot that it
Rouge.
was closed.
Yeah, it's closed. I remember going there as a kid. We used to drive to Baton Rouge just to go to Ralph and Cacoo's, and it was when Ralph and Cacoo's was in the middle of the woods,
Mm,
and now you can barely find the place because there's so much stuff around it.
hmm.
Anyway, for, like, my 21st birthday, my mom decided, she's like, "Where you wanna go eat? And we'll invite, Lyle, and then you can have Toby and
Hmm.
our other friend Callie at the time." We all went. I said, "I wanna go to Ralph and Cacoo." My mom said, "What kinda cake do you want?" And she meant what flavor. I said, "I want a pirate cake." So my mom went to the Walmart or the Rouses, and she was like, "I need a pirate cake." And they're like, "Okay, what do you want it to say?" And she was like, "I need it to say happy 21st birthday, Eric." Do you
Oh,
remember this?
I do.
I made us all pirate names.
Yes.
I got invites from Walmart that I could write on that were pirate themed.
Oh God, I want
I
to see pictures
literally had, like, a 7-year-old's birthday party when I turned 21.
at the Ralph and Cacoo's, y'all.
Yeah, so my mom's like, "Where you wanna go eat?" I said, "Ralph and Cacoo's, duh." And so we make that plan to go, and a couple of days before, she's like, "What do you like so much about Ralph and Cacoo's?" And so here's what I miss, y'all, the hush puppies.
Mm.
But let me tell you, I both miss it, and I'm glad that they no longer open, because let me tell you what, you used to go to the Ralph and Cacoo's, you would sit down, they would give you a bowl of hush puppies and some butter.
Hmm.
One of the last times I went to Ralph and Cacoo's, they made me ask for hush puppies, and I was so appalled.
Oh wow, how offensive.
I know, I'm like, "You gonna sit me in this room full of dead fish hanging on the wall and make me ask for hush puppies." But anyway, my mom was like, That's the free item at, Ralph and Cactus." I'm like, "I know."
Hey, I go to Tampico's for the chips and salsa. I can't.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So,
Nice.
mostly miss it because of the nostalgia, but also the Hush Puppies, which they eventually stopped doing, and that's when I stopped going. And
Mhm,
I feel like that's why they closed down because they didn't see me anymore.
mhm.
They knew if their number one fan wasn't coming back, the writing was on the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Cool. That was fun.
Dang, I would have thought for sure yours was Western Sizzlin' or Red
Yeah.
Robin.
That you remember I told you I have a list of 3 that I could do?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Those are the other 2.
Oh, nice.
I will say, though, the last time I went to Red Robin, it was not a great experience.
Mhm. In a foreign land.
Yeah, it was a foreign land. Mhm.
Well, now that everybody's hungry, w we're gonna cut you guys loose. You can go find one of those places to go eat, and,
Not where we're from.
Well, you can find the favorites.
That's true.
See,
yeah,
if I'd have realized it was places to eat and not restaurants, I would have put it at home at number 3. Because Erin is an excellent cook and she does try a bunch of new stuff. And she also knows that like if there's something I really like, she will literally secretly learn how to make it and make it for me for my birthday sometimes. So
Erin gave me the best Christmas gift this year ever, and it will forever be my Christmas gift from her from now on. And what she did is she cooked me some food for my freezer. I got like
yeah.
spaghetti sauce, red beans, burritos, all kind of good stuff.
That's it. That's all you got.
Uh-huh.
Spaghetti, red beans, and
And,
burritos.
and some spaghetti and some rice.
Yeah, like 4 pounds of rice.
But like you gave me multiple bags of those things. So like it's
Mhm.
good food to have. And I pull that shit out all the time. I still have some.
According to Toby, I make a mean spaghetti sauce,
She really do.
but I make it different literally every time I make it.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the case for almost everything I make. I don't really I forget every time what I put in things. So I basically just taste it and then add stuff and then taste it and then add stuff. And sometimes at the end of the day, what you set out to make is not what you made. But
Nice.
it's like I meant to make shrimp stew for Claire's birthday, but it was really a gumbo.
I thought it was good.
It was good. But when people are like, "That's great gumbo," I was like, "Thanks."
My dad came up to me at one point and he said, "Hey, who made this gumbo?" And I said, "Aaron did." And he went, "Really?" I was like, "Well, yeah, what you think? Do I look like I'm starving?"
I told Lyle, I was like, "Does he not think that I, cook for my family?" Like,
Come on now. Come on,
Maybe he
Mark.
just thinks you don't cook good.
I know. The only thing I ever forced down his throat was Brussels sprouts, and I know he didn't like those.
Mm.
Ooh,
Your dad?
oh, but they got bacon on them.
He didn't really like them. I tried to convince him. I was unsuccessful.
All right. Well, we've made it to the end, you guys. Hope
Hooray!
everybody enjoyed the show. Y'all stay safe out there. That COVID is running rampant. So watch yourself.
Real.
Shake your ass, but also watch yourself.
That's right. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye bye.